What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Poolside Chat. My name is Todd, and I've got yet another amateur pool master review with you. If you watch my last video, you'll see that it was a clip from the live stream I did early November with the infamous Lil Chris. Well, we ended up doing 2 matches that night, and we're going to dive into the second portion. We're going to get into the APA 8-ball, still playing my buddy John, still shooting pretty okay. It's a good match, but there's, just like in the last one, there's so much good conversation, a lot of information to be had. There's a lot of information in that guy's head, and I would love to soak it up. So I know that's why I broke this out into another video, so that way we can watch it. And I know I'm going to watch it dozens of times, but you know what? As always, let's just dive right into this. Let's go.
That doesn't look like the right video.
That is not the right video. This one
Looks like the right video. Oh, a different angle too.
Yeah, different table.
Okay.
Different table. So got a little better angle on this one.
I was gonna say, John, you hit the heck out of your lag ball there. I could just tell right out of the gate.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking 8-ball now. Completely different strategy. You typically an 8-ball now you want to have a lot of hold angles if you can help it. That's not to say that sometimes a move angle is going to be necessary. It just depends on the layout of the table.
Yep.
But let's see how you. I want to hear how you break down 8-ball racks in comparison to 9-ball racks.
Okay. So first things first, the way I break, I come just a little bit of low left. I aim at the edge of the second ball to the third ball. That left does cause a little bit of deflection to hit that second ball nice and firm. The idea, obviously, low left, so it comes over to the side rail. Left spins it back out to the middle of the table.
Yep. And
that
usually that gives you a high probability at making the opposite corner ball. And I just saw I'm still watching the stream on YouTube, so there's a bit of a delay, and that's exactly what I saw. The right corner ball went into the pocket.
And looks like
this is APA. So did you
this is still APA, but I did make one of each, so it is still open. And I think I like stripes a little bit better. The 9 still goes, and I think I can use that 9 to break open the 15 or try to break it up now.
Okay, table is still open. To me, that's one of the dumbest rules I think that does exist in APA. You're trying to make that stripe, and you make that stripe with intention. But because you dropped another solid, the table still remains open, and now you've officially claimed stripes because you only dropped the stripe. Like, I don't know. That just seems kind of goofy to me, but whatever.
I completely agree because, yeah, I get and I prefer it to be open after the break, like BCA, USAPL, but it was...
Oh, give me the argument why. I always have the same counter argument to this, but why? Why does the table need to be open regardless?
Because how many times do you make 1 or 2 stripes and then you can't see one? You're almost being penalized because you don't make both. Where with the others, as long as you make a ball, you're still at the table and you're still shooting.
Awesome, right? The same argument I always hear. Now, this is the game of skill, though, right? We're supposed to demonstrate our skill. Right? You want to show people how good you are, right?
Sure.
So, are you just not skillful enough to handle the harder situation, and so therefore you want to backpedal and take the easier situation? Like, you're supposed to be good, right?
Sure.
So why can't you rise to the occasion and take on the harder situation? Whatever.
Because this is still amateur pool. This is still amateur pool. That's why.
But do you see my point though? Like,
yeah.
You know, like it always makes me laugh when I hear people talk about the reason why. It's like the solids is so much harder, and that's all that I ran. Well, I mean, aren't you good? Go run the solids because you're so good. Like,
right.
Especially that's what every 900 Fargo rated viewer always likes to say, like how good you're supposed to be. So it's like, come on.
900 rated viewer. I love that. I do have a buddy of mine who always says that. He's like, I've never missed a ball from my chair.
Exactly, exactly. Trust me, I get it though. Like it's still a valid argument. Like,
Right.
if you make just a solid, and solid is just atrocious to run, and stripes is so much easier. Like,
Yep.
who wouldn't want to do that? Like, I get it. When the emphasis is on winning the rack, I completely get it. But then when you think about it, when for content creation, it's all about demonstration of skill,
Right.
right? So wouldn't you want to be able to show that you can actually run the harder racks? So I don't know. It's like, whatever.
Absolutely. And with all that said, John got to the table one time, and I am now running out. So I left myself a good angle on the 8. Now, APA, you are supposed to mark your pocket. I'm playing a good friend. Fully understand that gentleman's sport, we're good with calling the ball. Call the pocket, I mean.
Nice out.
So 1-0. I'm, as you can see, I am an APA 7. John is a 6 in both. So it's a 5-4 race on this side. Now it is even 4-4 race.
Okay, we didn't really get a chance to talk about that first
The
rack, since we were
actual
talking
rack
about
itself.
the demonstration of skill. So let's try to dive into the second one. I really want to
Absolutely.
get into your head on this, as you make a nice smashing break there.
Oh, 10 had to roll up and get funny.
That's okay. Didn't you still make both? 1, 2. The 3 ball's gone.
Yeah, still
Two.
open.
Okay, cool. So break this rack down for me.
Let's just pause this right here. For where I'm at, I mean, first thing I always look at is starting ball. What do I even have to start with? Which with stripes, you've got the 11, you've got the 14, you can combo the 13 11 or 13 9. You've got multiple options there. With the solids, I don't really have much of a great shot, that is, because I can't see the 1 without some kind of triple ball combo, and I'm not doing that. Hard back cut on the 6 to the side or to the top corner. Like there's no real good start for solids.
Okay.
So that's where
I agree.
my mindset immediately is I want to go with stripes.
Okay.
From there, that's where I'm gonna contemplate, where's the trouble? Where's the issue? And obviously in this one, every ball has a home or multiple homes other than the 10 ball. I got to figure out a way to break the 10 open. I don't know I can't quite tell if I've got enough angle where I can shoot the 14 into the right edge of the 5 where the 14 still goes on the side, something tricky like that. So it's really more of a, how do I break it open? So that's where my brain is right from the get-go, right off the break.
Okay. So before you let the video go on, do you remember what you did here?
No.
Okay, so let's let the video go on, and then we're actually going to backtrack. I want to see what the choice is, because I also want to see your demeanor of how you try to break down the table just by watching you walk around on camera.
Yeah,
Okay,
it looks like
you already spotted what you needed to spot there.
Yeah.
So
Do I have the angle on the
do.
11 to stun and break open that 10? And I hit it.
And what did I talk about during the 9-ball match when you stun? What did I talk about? What did I say you could do when you're trying to stun the cue ball?
What can go wrong?
You can actually draw the ball and miss the cluster altogether. You just proved my point.
Yeah.
Right there. You just proved my point. So that probably means that you didn't really have to stun the ball. Maybe more of a center ball.
Yeah.
Because remember, stun is slightly below center.
Right.
Maybe just a center ball, or maybe just a slight rolling ball and kind of punch it. So that way we know we go along that tangent line.
Oh, and look at this.
You just proved my point.
And on top of that, he's going to take stripes away from me. Now that's a jerk move.
Nope. It's not a jerk move, but his start, in my opinion, is just not the greatest. This is
Agreed.
An open go back, because John's watching here, so he's got to think about this. So right here, he's got ball in hand. John, you got ball in hand here, and it's an open table. And you already heard us talk about how much trouble that 10 ball is. And you could be dealing with it right now with a mixed combination, playing the 5 into the 10 into the corner pocket. You can just stop the cue ball and you're right in line with the 14 ball. All the trouble balls are gone, and then you might be able to run the table from there.
Right.
So as far as an opener is concerned, I just really don't think starting with the 12 ball is the best option that you could have done there.
Yeah, because it does look like that. Even though there is a gap there, that 5-10 looks like it's all but wired. So, and that is definitely something that I don't see enough APA players do right out of the gate. When they know the table's open, go ahead and play a mixed combination. You don't need to break it out. You don't have to do something with the 14 or something. You don't just shoot the 5-10 combo, and now you're open.
Bang time pool, what you're saying there, I understand what you're getting at, but there's also still discrepancies as to what you're talking about. Because when you say draw is below center, well, if I hit below center, but the cue ball still rolls forward, did I execute a draw shot? So the idea of the stunt being always slightly below center dictates basically the distance between the cue ball and the object ball. And I think at least in the case of what he had with the shot that he tried to be able to play the 11 ball and break out the cluster required a little bit of bottom, like a smidge of bottom spin to turn it into a stunning center sliding cue ball that you're talking about. Because if he would have just hit center cue ball on the particular shot that he was trying to, it probably would have turned into a rolling ball.
Yeah.
So that's where the general idea of stun is typically some amount of below center, because you're trying to get that cue ball to just slide. And I know you know this, to go right into the sliding cue ball part of it, because you still have to take into consideration how far the cue ball has to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the cue ball is more than like 2 or 3 feet away from the object ball and you hit center cue ball, it's not a stun shot. It's going to turn into a rolling shot.
Right.
So that's something that I know what you're getting at with what you're saying here in the chat, but there's still just a little bit more detail to go into that.
And there's something to be said, even if you are trying to hit just a little bit of draw or a little bit of top, if you hit it too hard and the ball's still sliding, it's going to react like a stun more than a draw or more like a follow.
Right.
So anyway, back at it. John's got ball in hand, so we know he takes the 12 here. This is why I hate stun being described by tip position. It's a sliding cue ball. Tip position for that varies by conditions.
Yep. And the average condition, I don't know what it would be like on a matchroom table, because I don't think I think a matchroom table will be completely different. But the average distance would be like close to 10 inches to a foot that you might be able to get the cue ball to slide. With just a center cue ball hit. If the distance is greater than that, the cue ball will turn into a rolling cue ball by the time it makes it to the object ball.
Yeah. So he took that 9 trying to break the 10 open.
And then now he's putting himself in a losing position.
He is pure recovery mode at this point.
Well, let's let it go on from here, because he should have stopped a long time ago, in my opinion, in order to take the gamble of coming back to the table. And I do say gamble because there is a possibility he might not come back to the table, but he wants to put himself in a position where he has a higher probability of coming back to the table.
Right.
And right now, I don't think he's
Ooh,
decreasing.
I already hate this.
He's decreasing his chances of coming back.
Especially with, he was trying to put a little spin and just miscued it.
Right.
I didn't really like that anyway, because he was going to hit the 10, which is going to, even if it's just gentle, a little amount, you're still moving my 5 closer to the pocket and making it more of a makeable ball for me. So now I have ball in hand. I'm going to go ahead and take that 7 straight top English, so that way I can go ahead and break that 5 open. And
whoops.
Missed it. Missed the plan altogether.
All right, so now John's in this position where he has to wait for you to miss so badly that you're going to give him an opportunity at that 14 ball.
Yeah.
Because you're not giving him an opportunity. What is that? The 10 ball? You're not going to give him an opportunity at that one. So he has to wait for you to give him an opportunity at that 14 ball. All the while, he still has to deal with the 10 ball at the same time. Now, I actually really love that that happened here because now you have full control of the table.
Right. Yeah, I don't like that move.
Yep. You know,
I don't like that move at all because I mean,
there is
yes, I
no
could.
reason to
It
do
looks like
that.
I've got enough gap. I could back bank it, but that 10 ball is going to come in and play. I don't like that idea. That's way too aggressive.
There's only a few counter moves that John's gonna have here, but then you've got one excellent counter move back. I think he got a little fortunate with that one. Personally, I think he should have cut the 4 ball to the short rail so that way your cue ball goes to the side rail and goes behind the 8, 5, and 10. Like actually to the other side rail.
Oh, okay. My thought process was doing just this,
Mhm.
where I know he's going to swing for something because he's going to at least try to get a good hit and
Right, but wouldn't
and
you rather him
incidentally
swing at a
open me up.
kick? Wouldn't you rather him swing at a kick than swing at this?
Possibly.
Because the move that I was talking about is like if I can't do anything productive with my stripe, I'm going to leave it there. So the only move that I'm left with is I'm taking your balls off the table.
Oh, this is stupid.
Oh,
That
so like
was
I would have shot. I probably would have attempted to shoot at a ball that you can use as a break ball and just remove it from the table.
yeah.
And that way I leave I leave those two that solid and that stripe still clustered up, and you know with the other balls that you still have on the table, yeah, you can still with ball in hand you can still use them to try to break them out,
Oh,
but
look at this.
hopefully they're harder. So you get a little lucky. Hopefully they're harder than the one that I took off the table.
Yeah. Way too hard. Still trying to do that. I was trying to do that like you were just saying, where I leave that eight
On the
five
side
blocking
rail.
them.
Yep.
Ooh, punched it too hard though. So now the five's got a home, but I mean, at least he didn't leave me a good opening shot.
Yep.
So there is that. I think right here would be a good time. Just go ahead and hit the 2 ball to the rail, leave the cue ball close to this head rail, and force him to take some kind of wild bank or something, especially with that 8 ball in the pocket. Oh, look at this. Basically something like that.
I can get down with that. That's a good decision. He does have a cut shot though.
Yeah, but he's
You
cutting
know,
right by that 8. If you hit just a
correct.
little too thick,
Correct.
and he played smart. Just, we're trying to move those balls apart. uh, so it looks like I'm going for this one high with some right.
That's fine. I don't see any issues with that.
Because the 5, I think if I remember correct, the 5 goes by the 10 here. So now I'm just going to hit this with some low right and just punch off that side rail and come back up table.
What a shot. Looks like a little too soft though.
Yep.
So do you go for it? Because if you make it, you got a shot at the 8 ball. But if you do miss it, then chances are you sell out.
Okay. So in this position right here, other than leaving the cue ball frozen to the side of the 8, how do you play safe that, like, would you try to leave him a bank?
Well, I mean, in this case here, you can still attempt to cut the ball, but I don't even think that like you can cut it to make it. Like you can't play. I don't think you can play a two-way shot here. In other
Okay.
words, you can't attempt to make it and play safe at the same time.
Yeah.
I think it is reasonable though that you can still cut that ball towards the corner pocket,
Hmm.
and you want the cue ball to hit the short rail like it is, and then come back to the other short rail at the center diamond, like basically where you're hovering over right now. If the
Yeah.
cue ball was there, it's the same risk of is he going to be able to cut the ball past the 8 without touching it? You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
right? See, so you make the ball, and like I said, even if you wouldn't have made it, like the cue ball's coming back down here,
Yeah.
right? And if you missed, you end up giving him an opportunity. So that was a great shot. Like I said, I don't think there was a way for you. Like, if could you have made the ball there and then still left the cue ball in the center diamond behind the rack area, you'd still would have a shot
Yeah.
at the 8 ball. But I don't think there'd be enough pace in order for you to be able to make
I
the
mean,
4
you'd have
ball.
to get a lot of pace to essentially go three rails,
Yeah,
long table. That'd be a lot.
that was a great shot.
Thank you. Cue ball got a little, like, carry
Still
him like
solid.
four times in that one.
Hey, this time you're just
Yes,
solids.
just solids. So immediately looking like, okay, I got that 5, 6, 7, not really clumped, but together. So trying to figure out how can I open those up to make this table runnable. So that's why I think I'm starting with the 5, probably gonna hit it fairly firm to move that 6. Oh, drew it.
Uh-oh.
Now the
You're
6
okay.
might be in trouble.
No, you're okay here. You've got a recovery here that you can do right now with the 4.
Just hold it.
I can't tell if it's makeable. You could certainly bump into it. It must be
It
makeable
must be
if this
makeable,
is
yeah.
the move that you did.
Nope.
Oh, looks like someone's
John,
wobbling the
yeah,
table there.
John and I were sharing the table, so he must have grabbed a drink or something. Getting a little seasick.
So here's a bit of a tester here.
Yeah, I wanted to pull back just a little more, so I'm not completely over the 11. But the way I line that up, I must be shooting the 7 off the 12 because I've got a nice little backboard. Help open up the 3 a little bit more, which means I'll just miss that entirely. Why'd you even line it up then?
This is looking good though. This is looking good. This is looking like a break and run.
Well, this is kind of a key transition right here. If I can get it by that 12. Oh no, I shot it up table.
Yep. No, that's
Oh,
that's what I thought you should have done. But
okay.
this is where it gets a little tricky now. I think you have no choice but to just bump the 2 ball in and take a long shot on that 8 to the bottom right, past the. I think that's past the 13 ball.
Yeah, I was thinking I was thinking I was gonna cut it in the side and then just go off this short rail, come back up. No, how about if
See
I
right there. That's why you shouldn't have attempted to do that. Just make the ball, take your medicine, and try to pocket the 8.
Yep. Yeah.
Situations like that come up all the time.
I've said that quite a few times in my videos where you just take your medicine. This is the bed you made,
Oh
just deal
no,
with it.
what happened there?
So when he's over a ball, his bridge hand shakes
Shakes really badly. Okay.
real bad. So he just got the shakes and missed it. Looks like I can see the edge of it. So am I?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it on the replay there. Well, that definitely means it was makeable since you
Yeah.
undercut the ball. But now you're in the unfavorable position.
No, I'm in a bad way. Okay, good shot.
This is where I would be focusing on trying to put that 13 ball in a better position rather than making balls. Because there's nothing you're doing with that 2 ball. So like
No.
right now, for example, I would probably thin the 11 ball, and so that way the cue ball will billiard into the 8 and the 13 and kind of separate them. You'll be able to see your 2 ball, but you ain't cutting it into the. I think the 9 ball blocks the cut shot. So
Yeah.
unless you do a Hail Mary multi-rail bank shot, I'm coming back to the table and all of my problems are solved.
Well, I was saying even if I pull that two ball multi rail, the 8's still hooked.
Well, no, because his shot would be to break apart the 8 and the 13. So
Oh, oh, gotcha.
the 8 ball might be freed at that point. So like here, like what are you gonna do here? Just multi-rail bank the ball
No, I think I'm trying to put some low just to stun, kind of just hold it behind the 9 as a safe.
as a safety.
Yep. I put, yeah, there's a little bit of low left just so when I hit the rail, kind of spin behind the 9. It ended up bumping the 9 out of the way so he can still see that hanger.
Okay, so
Good shot.
to me, this is a it
Oh,
making a ball is always a good thing, but this is still another common thing I see all the time in League 8 ball. There, that 13 ball is going to be probably the main reason why if you get this rack back, it'll be because of that 13 ball.
yeah.
And seeing that and trying to deal with it now is hard because the 2 ball is free.
Yeah.
So
I said 2 balls not open.
it's difficult now to be able to free the 13 ball. He might can he hold the cue ball behind the 8 here? That's might be what he's looking for, and
And
he
that's
does. All
exactly
right,
what he tried to do.
so there's the sellout. Right, when there was a better option to do that earlier,
Yeah.
where and your 2 ball was still hidden, and then maybe he could have been able to grab the rack from there. I mean, it at least increases his chances. I mean, there's still always the chance of missing, but
Yeah.
let's be realistic here.
But so even on this one, you could just bank or kick off the left side of the 9, just move the 9 gently towards that pocket, even if it blocks the 2 a little bit. Force me to brings the cue ball over to this long rail near the camera, and then what am I going to do with that 2 ball? I can't really bank it to the side. The 15's in the way. I'm try a really hard back cut and then miracle break open the 8. I mean, that's really not going to be the case. So I would have done something more on that end versus try to. Now I understand his method because he was trying to open up his 13 and hook me.
Yep.
It just unfortunately had a smidge too much oomph on it, which I mean, it didn't even look like he hit it that hard. It just rolled. It just kept on going, just that little bit.
Now, are you going to come with a big boy shot here?
I'm willing to bet. This is not a rolling ball. I have a feeling.
What a shot!
Pretty okay.
The shot's a little bit harder on a 9 foot table. Just saying.
I'm a bar box guy, man. I, I'm standing in at 5'4". I can't even see the full side of a 9. I actually really want to get more 9-foot time, not just for my game, but I want to expand into different games. I want to get into playing straight pool more. I want to get playing one pocket more. I want to get into even like the amateur pro or amateur pool championships that APA does. Those are all
Yeah.
9-foot. I want to get into that format, but I spend too much time on a bar box and 3 nights a week league. And then tournaments on weekends are always bar box, so gotta make the time.
Finally, a
Gotta
dry
make the
break.
time. I think that was.
Ugh, 'cause my hair is getting all messed up with my headphones.
So he is going for the 1, gonna back cut it. Okay, 11 held it so you can see the 4, but I don't know if I would swing at that yet, just because I mean that's kind of an insurance ball. I think I don't know if he's shooting the 3 or if he's going for the 5 here. Oh, he was dead straight on the 5.
So can we go back to the first shot here? There's an important demeanor here that I want to point out, and I'm only judging based off of what I see here that's happening.
Sure.
So back him out of the camera, like we want to see the ending movement of the break because we want to see his approach to the table.
So right here, hit play.
Yeah. Right. So he goes and grabs his
There's
cue.
his
I think.
cue.
Yep. Comes to the table. Okay, and immediately gets down and shoots at the one. Now, I'm not saying shooting the one is a bad shot or the wrong shot, but just think about the decision that's going to happen next here. Okay, made the one, bump into the 11. That all might be intentional. Okay, now what? Well, as far as I can tell, he's looking at the five because we saw that he shot it, and
But
then I'm
what was
assuming
the intent? What was the result you're looking
right,
for?
and I'm assuming this is the intention. And now look what's happening. We're figuring it out. One ball at a time, we're figuring it out. And in
Yeah.
eight ball, this is generally a strategy that you just really don't want to do because, as far as I can tell, you're making balls for the sake of these are balls that could be made.
Yeah.
Right. So now, like I'm guessing here that he's going to end up playing safe.
Should.
Whereas should he have made the five ball? I mean, maybe not. Should he have maybe tried to get a better position on like he's playing the one? I think regardless, right? I think that's a given.
Yeah.
But then the amount of attention that he's going to try to put into getting position on either that five or the three, I can't tell if the three ball was makeable or not. So that way, maybe he could have done something different than here. But now the well, no, see, he's still going
Oh.
for it, right? That's a great shot. And so now,
Okay.
is he going to be able to do something with the seven ball? But what I'm not going to be convinced of, I think this is fair. That three ball run out was not planned from the get go. It came out on the fly. Right?
I'd be willing to agree.
All of this is coming out on the fly.
Yes.
And if it works, then by all means it works. But typically, I would just not think this is a way that you would want to approach an eight ball rack. Typically.
Yeah, because now he's got a fairly thin cut to back cut that four.
Right? Clearly can't take away from the bank shot and everything else that he
That was
got
a
up to
great
this.
shot.
And if he would have kept on going, that's still all well and good. But then let's start back over from the one ball. And is the run out that he created how much can he repeat it? Because that just looked like a super difficult table to even attempt to run. I don't know how. I truly don't know how many people would even attempt to run it
Right.
with solids. Because I mean, after he made that bank shot, the table was runnable. It was difficult,
Yeah.
but it was runnable.
Yeah, you cut that two. I think a natural running ball was going to break open that seven.
I like what you're doing here. We're about to minimize the cue ball movement.
Yep.
It's going to be 9, 10, 12, 13, 8, 9.
Yeah, just a little angle, so it slid out, but yeah, should be just a rolling ball here for the 12.
Yeah, but are you going to run into the 13? Well, you
No,
missed
I am
it.
going to split them perfectly.
Yeah, but that made things harder though. Now you're gonna duck and play safe.
Yep.
Nicely done.
Need to be a little more to get tighter on the 12 because I think you can see the edge of the four.
Well, see, no, let's go back a couple of shots. This is kind of the same principle, even in nine ball.
Where
Where
to?
go back some more. Go back some more. Right up. Go ahead and let it play from here. Right, because this looks good. Zero cue ball movement. And then this looks good. Yeah, I think you just rolled the ball past so that way you don't have to bridge over the.
I think I pulled back a little, if I remember correct. Yeah, just a little
Okay, so
breathing
that,
room off the four.
right, but still zero cue ball movement.
Yeah.
And then this was good. Because where was the mistake? It wasn't the execution of the transition from the 10 to the next ball. It's this shot right here.
Yeah, say this one.
This is the shot that you should have paid more attention to on how you want to get position on that 10 ball in order to get to your last two balls.
Because it does have that slight bit of angle, so the cue ball had to move into the middle, a little more center table, and that's what got me out of shape.
Yep, maybe on this one you probably did want to draw back just a little bit more than what you did.
Yeah.
So there, that like you just barely drew it back. Maybe you want to draw it back a
Like
little bit more.
intentionally pull back.
Yeah. Because now here, this is probably to your benefit that maybe you run into your 12,
Yeah.
right? Because then you're probably almost guaranteed a shot at
Hmm.
your 13 ball.
Yeah. I agree. But instead,
But this is a good duck and cover.
at least if nothing else, he's shooting at the farthest ball. So
Well, I mean, I hope he can't see it because your balls are at one end of the table. If
yeah,
all he has to do is clip that 4 ball and leave the cue ball at the other end of the table,
leave it
that
alone.
doesn't help you. That doesn't help you any.
Right. I'm assuming he can because the way he's not even looking at it. So he's
Yeah, looks like you might have covered him pretty good there, so that's
okay.
good. Oh no, are you kidding me? All right.
Did not deserve that one.
Nope.
Or in Color of Money, where he's, I didn't deserve that. Yes, you did.
Yes,
Yes,
you
you did.
did.
So the 12 really only goes there. So I'm just going to draw back, give myself look at the 13. Just double check and see what it does. Where's the A ball go? Where do I want to shoot it?
Should be in the same corner pocket, I would think. Cue ball's going to naturally go, could naturally go around it. Maybe a touch of outside spin. You got to hit the damn ball. what,
You got to
is that
stroke
all
it.
about?
You got to stroke it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Because I mean, there's no cut here. I'm kicking at it or something. Or I mean, with the way his balls are placed, this is gonna be even hard to play safe. Because I think I'm trying to skin it and then still leave it behind the 8.
I would just put the cue ball on the short rail.
Yeah. Good
Okay,
shot. Good roll.
So far so good.
Got on the right side of the tangent line. Good pull. Okay.
Okay, here's a rolling shot. You don't have to do anything special. Just don't underhit it.
Why does that happen?
Nicely done,
And
John. Good run out on that one.
John, for the first time in the night, gets to break.
What kind of breaking style do we see from this guy?
I'll tell you what, man. This guy's got old man strength. He can crack him when he wants.
Oh, but not with a second ball break. A
No,
second
not
ball
here.
break is a finesse break. It's not a power break. And that's why it's not a power break. That cue ball can
Mhm.
clearly fly off the table.
Yep.
You're gonna do a power break, you hit the head ball.
Dry break though.
It is.
Okay, so now we're back to what are my options? What do we do here? Like I can start with the 3 or the 15. Looks like I'm making a snap decision on solids, probably because of the 13, I would assume. Ooh, I pulled that back too much. I think I was trying to pull back just to hold for that 5 into this pocket.
Yep. I would agree.
Underdid it, or overdid, excuse me.
Overdid it.
Overpulled it. So we're already in recovery mode. Going to shoot the 7, it looks like. Might have an angle. I might be able to roll forward and move that 13 out of the one's way. No, we're going to hit the... Okay, interesting.
So let's back up because
Yeah,
I
not a
just want
fan of
to
that.
I just want to just leave this idea here just so people can hopefully understand the reasoning.
Right here or go back more?
No, right here. because you said so yourself that you're trying to get on the 5 ball and you missed at it.
Yep.
So right now, when we look at the table, the only ball that grants you access again to that 5 ball is most likely going to be the 6 ball, right? And now, but there is no ball, or it's very difficult to get that type of position again to shoot the 5 ball into the corner pocket like you originally indicated.
Yeah.
The 6 ball at least might be able to grant you position to be able to shoot the 5 ball into the side pocket, maybe. But that requires you to deal with the 2, 7, and the 1 and the 4 and everything else. And we already saw that even though we made the 2 ball, we kind of blundered because it didn't look like we ended up with a shot afterwards.
Right.
So this is where if you can factor all that in quick enough, right? Because that's the other thing. Like, how much thought do you have to put in at the table? You don't want to put in too much thought because you don't want to be penalized for slow play. But sometimes you got to think about these types of strategies so that way you can think about them a little bit quicker.
Right.
Because this table is a mess and that 5 ball really is your biggest problem ball, I really wouldn't think of it to be a bad idea to hit the 5 ball or cut the 5 ball in such a way to where it's gonna separate from that 11 ball, and then your cue ball is gonna head towards the long rail that's right above, like literally that's right above us. You basically kind of want to spin it behind the 9 ball because all of John's balls are up table. So as long as you have him
Oh, I see what you're
shooting,
saying.
as long as you have him shooting up table, provided of course that he misses, all your balls are now at least out in the open.
Yeah.
And especially your 5 ball is hopefully at least solved, or it's more accessible now because it's not surrounded by the 2 stripes. Right. So this is something that I also noticed that just a lot of players just don't think about because they look at what ball can I play, or is there a way for me to try to duck the cue ball? Well,
Hmm.
right now we're in a position where I don't really think it's necessary that you have to duck the cue ball when you take into consideration who your opponent is. And I don't mean that as an insult, John. What I'm
Yeah.
talking about is like when you look at the layout of the table, almost regardless of who your opponent is at an APA level, unless we're talking about like a really highly rated player, what are the odds of getting of running the table? Probably not a lot. Right. So you give John a free shot, but you free your 5 ball up at the same time. So that way, hopefully you have less problems to deal with
Yeah.
if and when you come back to the table. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. And John, when he says higher level players, he's not talking about me. He's talking way above me. Yeah, I hit that 13 real flat. It just killed the cue ball. Left me with
That
a whole
was
lot of nothing.
And I mean, even if you would have made the 2 ball and got position on the 4, the 1 and the 7 are just super tough.
Yeah. So the one ball doesn't bank. There's no makeable shot from here. Now I'm going into chess mode and try to figure out where am I going to leave him that's as ugly as possible, and how do I get there?
Well, it doesn't see that's another thing. Like it doesn't always have to be as ugly as possible. Sometimes you need them to do something for you, right? So you put them in a position where you try to bait them into taking the shot that you want. Like we really need that 11 ball to move,
Right.
and then that helps us out a lot. So putting the cue ball here, I think is a good decision.
Yeah.
The question is does John take the bait?
Well, and that's just like a couple racks ago when we had that 5-10 kissing cousins up in there and not wanting to leave each other. That's why I kept putting him in spots, forcing him to hit that 10. So
Right.
I was trying to force his hand to open up my ball.
Okay.
And
So now
he played that one
now our
smart.
5 ball is a little bit more accessible, even though it's currently blocked by the 9 ball.
Yeah. Still has multiple pockets, just not the closest necessarily.
Yep.
Closest corner, at least.
Ooh, I don't think we rolled far enough on that one, John. The next shot I think should have been the 9 ball.
Yeah.
And then that way you can come around and be underneath the 6 ball to shoot at either of these 2 stripes, which looks like the 14 or the 12.
Oh,
There we go. We can further lock the 5 ball away from being able to go into that pocket. You still only have to use the 6 ball to be able to maybe get position for the side pocket or to be
Yeah.
able to bank it now. Now that it's more open. Yeah, see, there you go. I like this. I like prepping to see where can that 5 ball go. But how do you get down there?
Right. Ideally, 6 ball would be a good lead, but even that, you got to get on the almost dead center table. So no, I'm starting with the 6 now.
No, this is good. But we missed.
Yep.
That's okay. I mean, it happens, right? If you had made it, you at least have a shot at the 5 to go into the side.
Right. Oh, just a little undercut. And the only ball that's going to be a little tricky to get shape, he gave it to me right there, I think.
Well, I mean, you have to take your if you're going to run the table here, you have to start with the 4.
Yes. Use
Like
the 10
that.
to stop it so I can shoot the 7 up table.
It would roll all the way down for that 5 or the 6. The 1 ball is your key ball for the 8 and the side, I think.
Ooh, a little more. That'll
I think
play.
I think this is fine. I think you do 6, 5, 1, 8, and you're
Yep.
golden.
So even like this shot right here, I kind of chuckled to myself. Just that little bit of outside spin just to kind of hold it. Just like that.
Nice. Now, it looks like you do have to bring the side rail into play here. No, are you going to draw it?
I think I'm just straight stop shot. Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't. The camera angle doesn't look like it was that straight into
Right.
me.
Yeah. Gotta
But
love camera angles.
are you able to hold for the 8?
Yeah,
Oh, what a shot!
I
What a
usually
shot!
put a little bit of inside, try to check up that speed.
Nicely
There we
done.
go. 4-1.
Oh, I like your on the hill prompt there.
That's something I started recently on last couple videos. Because I was doing like a big graphic up top for break and run or whatever. Now I think I'm just going to keep it right here by the name. Just a little prompt so you kind of know what's going on.
8 on the break.
I'm not Lil Chris, man. That is not a shot I have in my repertoire, but I will
That
take
8,
it if
look
it
at that 8.
goes. It kind of hinted at. I put a little bit more stank on it.
Almost.
Unfortunately, dry break though. And not a pretty table, that's for sure. Oh, good shot with some good
The
draw.
action. Yeah, the good action on that cue ball there.
Yeah. I don't think he can make the 15. I think the 1 ball might come into play there. So is he gonna have to shoot the 14?
Well, that's what I was wondering. If the 14's makeable, he can bust the whole table open at that point. The cue ball is
Yeah.
definitely going to run into the 10 ball. The 10 ball is going to run into the 312 cluster.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's shooting the 9.
All right, good shot and all, but now the
Yeah,
run's
but
over.
now he's in a world of hurt because what are you gonna do after that? You put that 1 ball there. Now you've got a wall
See,
of solids.
this is where I would emphasize the point of I want to make sure I say this right. Like, don't play safe because you have to. Play safe because you chose to lead up to that point. which means everything you're doing is planned out. So he's in a position where he has to play safe.
Absolutely.
Or I mean, I don't know. Maybe he can make the 11 ball, but then after that, like then what? Right?
Yeah.
He's going to force himself to be in a position eventually to where he has to play safe versus trying to come up with some sort of plan to where he leads into a safety.
Yeah. Looks like he's still going for it though. Look high, trying to spin into the rack. Yep.
Yeah, just trying to ask for a whole lot,
Yep.
right? And think about it. Like I said,
Shooting for a miracle.
the more complex that you're trying to make because if he would have just made the ball, he would have just made the ball. But then the run's over. He has to play safe. But he's trying to make something happen, which means he's complexing the shot, and he complexes it to a point to where he just ends up missing the shot. And so
I'm gonna clip that right there, and I'm gonna play that for John all the time. That
right?
phrase.
It's so hard to find that balance between making sure that you can accomplish both, right? Because that's really what you're trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, he got lucky with the result, left me where I mean, I'm basically frozen at the 6, but other than that, I got to kick at the 7 just to make a
Correct.
legal hit, and I completely shank it.
Dang. I, isn't there like this one rail kicking system that that some guy taught on YouTube that
I don't know. Never heard of it.
I mean, I think I've seen you do it like on every freaking video. I don't know
And
why
I give you
didn't do
credit
it
on
there.
every single video, and I put you in anytime I mention it, it's in my the description.
And,
And what do I
that
do?
one there, you try to eyeball it.
I got this. It's fine, man. Everything's gonna be fine. I think the video kind of glitched on there, or he just shot that at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Oh, let's see here. That 15 ball is just so juicy but dangerous at the same time.
Oh,
Yeah, even if he would have made that with the position that he's got, like it's the same thing. The run's over,
yeah,
right? He can't make the 11 ball and develop the two stripes there, which looks like the 14 and the 10. Or that is the 11 ball.
yeah.
So
It's the 11.
where he's at now, or where he was, if he would have, the 11 ball looks like he has the angle to try to break up the 14 and the 10, but there's just no guarantee that you're gonna have a shot. And here you go being a jerk again.
It's a compliment to a pool player, man. Because yeah, he can see the edge of the 14. I don't think he can hit it thick enough to make it. So, oh, so I just noticed that, and I'm gonna talk to John here. If you watch, because like I said, when he has to hike up, his bridge really gets the shakes, and look how much when he hikes up here, his bridge really starts shaking. But then when he closed bridged, it tightened up, and I'm 90% sure that was a bad hit.
Replay that.
See, you can see how much his bridge.
The first thing I saw was the ball dropped. I didn't pay attention to anything else.
The four moves, which it moves towards that 11. And it's behind the 14. Yeah, because he's going straight at it.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That was a foul, but did anybody notice it?
I didn't have it watched, and I don't remember, to be honest, if I saw it or if I noticed it at the time. Because if I think it is, John's an honest guy. If I say, John, was that a bad hit? He'll be like, if it is, take it, and he'll give ball in hand. He has no problem with it, but
it's
I think he just fouled without noticing.
Yeah, it's easy to criticize after the fact when we're sitting there and we can watch a replay over and over again. But in the heat of the moment, sometimes those are just hard to catch.
Yep. And And I get what
But
I get asked to watch a lot of shots, so I don't necessarily always look at the connection. I think of where the balls are supposed to go
yeah,
versus if they were bad, where are they going to go? Like in that one, for that 4 to go up at an angle towards that 11, he had to hit it first
I'm actually just surprised that the cue ball can billiard off of the 4 and still make his strike.
and
Though
still made it.
you think like because he's trying to intentionally just hit the correct spot,
Mhm.
and he accidentally hits the correct spot off of a billiard.
Right?
But John, hopefully you can see what I'm talking about here, where you're really just putting yourself in an unfavorable position to be able to even win the rack.
Oh, good try though. That was a real good try.
All right. So when you look at this table, you look at the position of your two stripes here. Like Todd is in a very favorable position here. He's got a wall of balls that he can hide the cue ball behind to where you can't see your two stripes, because you're in a position where you have to wait for him to miss so badly. And sometimes it's a good gamble to take. Sometimes it is, but you have to hope that he gives you an opportunity to be able to play one of your stripes, which means you're now relying on luck. And in a game like this, though it's good to have luck on your side, I just don't think it's something that you want to rely on.
Agreed.
Now, I'm curious if that 11 ball is going to drop. A kick billiard? I haven't even seen this before, and how did I know that was going to happen?
Who's this guy?
What a shot, John.
Holy cow.
Now, do you have enough finesse to be able to like throw the ball into the side pocket so that way you can hold for the 8 in the opposite
Yeah,
side?
I don't.
Or
It looks like it's a little bit of a cut. I don't know if he can just slow roll it. Too hard.
yep, too
Knew
hard.
it. Knew it immediately.
At that point, that means you just go with it. You're supposed to go to the end. You're supposed to go to the end rail and come back up to the end to the middle of the table and shoot the 8 ball in the same pocket.
Yep.
What? Is there a
Did
valley
he
he
call
can
on the
fit through?
side?
No, he called the corner. He's going
he
in
called the
between the
corner.
5 and the 6. The 7 ball prevents him from scratching, so he can really just focus on just shooting the ball.
Yeah.
I wouldn't try to complicate things. Just a nice center ball, focus on the aim, and just try to hit that bullseye.
And just barely
Good
glanced the
try.
6.
Good try. Good try.
Put the 8 in a precarious spot for me though, because now I gotta work some magic for all the other balls that want to go in that pocket.
That was almost a good move. Actually, that worked out nicely. The 5 ball is accessible now.
Yeah.
3 balls. The 3 ball is questionable. Let's see what you do here. I like
So
it.
should be. Ooh, slow down. Yeah, I was trying to hold it back there for the 6.
Ooh, this is getting interesting. Let's see how you piece it apart.
With rolling balls, man.
Hey, that looks good. But I wish the ball would have rolled a little bit farther, just a little bit. Because notice how you couldn't bump into the 3.
Yeah.
If you were just a little bit on the other side, you bump the 3 so it's closer to the long rail and you can go past the 8 ball into the corner pocket. Because now, do we have to get that angle for the 3 in the side as well?
Looks like 3 goes all the way down too, though.
Oh, does it? Then never mind. If that's the case, never mind. This is good. I couldn't tell whether or not if the 3 ball passes by the 2 ball. If it does, then this is golden.
Yeah, because the 2's on the rail.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, hold on. I can still mess this up.
Anything's possible. Where can things go wrong? You can miss every shot.
Miss every shot. Like that. I
Like
tried to
that.
miss that. I tried to miss that.
You did try to miss that. Holy cow.
It sure looked like it. Goodness.
Nicely
And
done.
there we go. 5-1, 17 innings. I don't count safe, so that's just way too much data to try to keep up with on my graphics. But still, I felt really good about it. I think it was a great night overall. Uh, obviously, many thanks to you, Chris. The coaching you gave me really built me up, gave me a ton of tools, gave me a lot of confidence, and allowed me to beat up on my friend. And that was really the best part of it, right, John?
Well, I'd be curious to know, because it is always questionable whether or not if the APA skill level is transferable across the country, meaning that is a 6 here in Texas equivalent to a 6 in Kansas, and so on and so forth. Right? You're in the Kansas area, correct?
Kansas, yeah.
Yeah.
We're on the border, but yeah, I'm on the Kansas side.
Right. So what I couldn't help but notice, if you notice most of my comments, that I was saying this is what I typically see
Yeah,
from these skill levels, and the only basis I have to go off of are the players that I have around here in Texas.
right.
So at least according to what I've seen here so far, it does appear that most of these skill levels might be transferable, because I just saw the same type of mistakes to where their balls are being made just because they can be made. You're playing safe because you have to play safe, and instead of trying to manipulate the layout to where you can choose to play safe because that was part of your plan.
Sure.
And so on and so forth. And when you're playing balls just to make balls, now you're putting yourself in an unfavorable position where you have to rely on your opponent to miss so badly to be like. I just keep seeing the same things over and over again. Right. So there's a nice foundational strategy that I think 8 Ball can have, to where you have to determine if you can run the table regardless of what it looks like. And when you before you even start shooting, the moment you say, "Nah, this ain't happening," well, then okay, cool. What is your plan on when you're going to stop? Not, I'm going to stop because I have to stop,
Right.
because I've done all that I can. If that is the way that you try to break down a Rex, I just don't think that's a favorable strategy
Right.
to have.
I mean, you've been to Vegas quite a few times for APA. I'm sure you've seen.
Twice. I've
Oh,
only been
that's
there
it.
twice. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Once for a team, it took me 3 years to get my team fully together to where we actually qualified.
Yeah.
I've had extra shots, like I've been to Tri Cups, or I mean, I'm sorry, I've been to World Qualifiers multiple times,
Sure.
but then sometimes just fall a little short.
Hmm.
But I did finally take a team there once. It was during the pandemic time frame, and we
Mm.
got so screwed because when we qualified, it wasn't until 2 years later that we went to
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yep.
And so, what do you think happens in 2 years of gameplay? My players go up,
Yeah.
and I can't play. I went to
Ugh.
Vegas. I went to Vegas as a coach,
Oh, that
and
sucks.
my team did the best that they could. I was super proud of what they did, but that was the end of it. And I warned my league director at the time, what am I going to do when this happens? Like,
Yeah.
we have multiple playable rosters with our current skill levels. 2 years later, I can't even begin to imagine, unless you want me to sandbag and block like all the stuff that we're
Yeah.
not supposed to do. But right, my players don't sandbag. I don't even encourage my players to
No.
sandbag at all. But
I
truth be
threaten my teammates all the time. If I believe you're truly sandbagging, I'll kick you off the team. I'm not gonna have
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen around me.
And what ended up happening is my players went up, and we ended up going to a Vegas to where there was no roster
Oh
whatsoever
man.
that allowed me to play whatsoever. And then the second time I went to Vegas was for 8 Ball Scotch doubles.
Yeah.
I played in a straight to Vegas tournament
Yeah.
with my Scotch doubles partner, who was also one of my teammates at the time.
Yeah.
And because of my tutelage as well, we kind of got screwed, but we still did the best, meaning that when we played together, we were a 7-3 pair.
Yeah.
When we went to Vegas, as a 7-4 pair, because
Okay.
he went
Yeah.
up before we went to Vegas, and that kind of made things a little bit more difficult, because we had to win extra games than before, but we still did well enough to play in the money. But
Yeah.
every person that has played on the same team as me, these are the same type of strategies that I
Mhm.
always play for. And a lot of times when I'm watching other people play, I can usually, with a high degree of certainty, tell you when the turn is about to be over
Hmm.
because of the way that I see the patterns that the players are playing out. And like I said, more times than not, when it's they're going to end up playing safe because they have to, not
Right.
because they chose to. So I hope all that makes sense to the viewers out there watching. John, if you see if you happen to watch this, I hope what I'm saying here makes sense. Considering the conditions that you have to shoot under with those shakes, I still think I mean you got a great game, but then that also means that now maybe you need to massage the strategy a little bit.
Yeah.
And by massaging your strategy a little bit, that's going to give you more tools than any other player that you're going to have. And that's usually what it takes. If you've got players, if two players that are playing against each other basically shoot at the same, shot make percentage, well, the only thing that's going to separate y'all is strategy. And whoever's got the better strategy typically can be the one that comes out on top.
Yeah, you don't want to play someone equal and then hope for the better luck of the day, or
Correct.
who's just a little
Who
more on today or a little more in stroke. You don't want to play
yeah.
that. Like,
Or who makes more mistakes. Like you don't want
right.
the that's the game that you don't want is win because your opponent made more mistakes when typically y'all play even.
Yep. I agree. I completely agree. So, well, I think that's pretty good. That was almost 3 hours. That was a
That
ton of
sounds about
fun,
right.
man.
That sounds right. When I usually review two of my matches in the amount of detail that I've made you do that I made you do your matches in,
Yeah.
that's typically 3 hours. If it was just straight live commentary, we probably would have been done in half the time.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Uh is it Loping CSF?
Hoping CSF, that's one of my followers. Good to see
Yeah.
you, man.
Well, he said he's heading out, but he enjoyed the stream. Gonna make point to check on my channel. Well, hey, I appreciate you at least learning about it. Thank you to Chris for introducing me to some more people, and I hope you enjoy it. So, but as always, man, thank you so much for everything you've done, and this has been a ton of fun, ton of knowledge. I know John and I are going to talk about this for probably the next 2, maybe even 3 months.
I would me personally, I would be very curious to know what does John agree and disagree with. I mean, I'm not trying to give any type of advice or criticism to say that I'm right.
No,
I'm
no,
just I'm just saying like these are the strategies that I've typically played with and that I've also learned myself
yeah,
through my own coaching, through my own trials and tribulations. And by no means are they still like the most optimal strategy. I might still be missing a couple of things because
hmm,
we're all here to learn and we're all here to grow. So it's one of those things to where like when I see my strategy or the strategies that I use aren't being used by others, that's going to be like an instant way to up your game
right,
by being able to massage the strategy that you play it, especially within the skill set of your shot making ability.
right. But even with that said, I mean, we're having to critique and review videos from a different camera angle. We're not
Yep.
down on the shot. We're not looking down the pipe. It is different from up here because multiple times even Chris said, I didn't think you had a straight shot. And well, the camera angle plays tricks on us, and it is very different. That is one of the first things I learned on this journey of getting into YouTube and recording myself. So it's been a ton of fun. So anyway, and there we have it. Hope you guys enjoyed. There was so much good information. Hope you guys out on your 8 ball game. Just a little bit of pattern play, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So much good information coming from Lil Chris. I am eternally grateful. Had an absolute blast. Look forward to doing it again. And for all you guys, hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Give me all that good stuff. And coming to the end of the year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to all of you, and be safe on the new year. I've got some more content coming for you guys, and you're going to enjoy it. Got a lot of good stuff. Can't wait to show you. I'll be back soon. Thanks, guys.